Hare Krishna. So, question is how to balance material and spiritual life. Of course, the main thing is that the material life and spiritual life, they actually opposite one another. They actually in opposite direction. Because while executing spiritual life, especially in this beginning stage, spiritual life, it will involve voluntarily accepting some difficulties. This is called austerities. Because unless one voluntarily accepts these difficulties, then the spiritual life will not actually be realized. Just like in our temples, in our ashram, like our devotees, those who have joined the ashram, they normally have to wake up by 3:30 in the morning, because the spiritual service begins at 4:30 in the morning, and this has to go on. And then there are many other activities by which one has to do. So, and also as a student of a spiritual life, there are certain restrictions which one has to place upon oneself, such as what not to eat, which means the kind of food that one cannot eat, the kind of drink that one cannot take, like alcohol, cigarette. We have what we call the four regulative principles, which one has to follow. No illicit sex, no gambling, no intoxication, no meat eating, and other certain austerity like fasting, certain things like that, which one has to follow. These are called disciplines in a spiritual life, and this must be there if one really want to get the result of a spiritual life. Whereas in material life is based on easy living. Material life means you work, and then you get paid for it, and then you enjoy yourself. That's material life means. Now, let's say if one in the materialistic life want to involve oneself in the spiritual activities, which is the basis of this discussion, because it may be a gradual thing. Like in the Vedic scriptures, there is what we call a Van Ashram, which means the spiritual divisions of society, whereby one lives in the beginning of one's life, there's a student life, and then there is a householder life of Grihasthas. And in the Grihastha life, this is actually whereby, even though one lives in a materialistic society, but one actually live a regulated life. One live a regulated life, especially I can talk in terms of our modern society. Okay, our modern society means that you work all day long, and you come back home at night, you eat your food, and then you sit in front of the TV and you watch TV till about 11, 12 o'clock at night, and then you go back to sleep. And then you sleep till 6 o'clock in the morning, the next morning to 7 o'clock, you go back to work again. Same thing, you work all day long, come back in the evening, and the same repetition. And then maybe on the weekend, you got your payment, and then you go enjoy yourself, whatever it is. So that is materialistic life. But spiritual life, it's not like that. That yes, if a person who is in a Grihastha order of life, and also that devotees, even though such a person may be working, but if one regards one's work as a means to serve Krishna, which means if one's work is utilized for the service of Krishna, then if one considers that, okay, I'm doing this work, but the result of this work is not meant for my enjoyment, the result of this work is meant for the enjoyment of Krishna. That if one does that, then that materialistic work is no more no longer be considered as a materialistic work. It's actually become a spiritual work itself. It becomes a spiritual work itself. So which means because one is working, and because the result is being given to Krishna, so therefore one become part of Krishna family also. One become part of Krishna family, and that's it. So that itself is a spiritual life, and that is that's the recommendation of all the great acharyas or the spiritual master. That yes, if you want to do your materialistic work, that is good, do it. However, do it only for Krishna. Krishna samsara koro chari anacha. He said that you should do your work, but do it for Krishna. Make it Krishna work. If you make it Krishna work, then your work becomes spiritual. Your work, and then your life will not be regarded as a materialistic life. Your life will be regarded as a spiritual living. It's a spiritual life. And we have so many of our devotees. We have so many innumerable number of devotees who have these lifestyles. Even in the Puranas, in the Mahabharata, we see the Pandavas. The Pandavas, they were householders, they were warriors, but everything about their life is dedicated to Krishna. So because everything about their life is dedicated to Krishna, so Krishna is always there for them. Whenever the Pandavas are in trouble, Krishna is always there to give them. Is always there to give them protection. He's always there. He's always fighting on their behalf. So similarly, also, if a devotee dedicate everything to Krishna, does not consider anything for his own enjoyment, then Krishna will always be there for you also. Hare Krishna.